Hi, and welcome to Pragmatic Tracker. My name is Bill Andrews. Why might you be interested in looking at Pragmatic Tracker? Well, if you want to track client progress in mental health treatment or recovery programs or any situation indeed where change can be measured through questionnaires, you may be interested in Pragmatic Tracker. The sorts of user you might be is possibly an individual single user in your own practice, or small groups of users working together, or indeed large groups or organizations. What can you measure? Well, to be honest, a lot. There's a wide range of standardized instruments available within Pragmatic Tracker for mental health treatment, substance abuse recovery, etc., including, of course, the outcome rating scale and the session rating scale, other measures that are popular in the UK, like core measures, and indeed a wide range of measures that are used internationally are all available, as well as having the capacity to build your own measures within the system. We also have a goal-based outcomes tracker, which we'll say more about in a minute, and then a problems tracker as well. What will it work on? Well, anywhere you've got a Wi-Fi connection, whether it's through the router or whether it's through a mobile network, and you can deliver links to measures via email or SMS. And we've noticed a transition actually over the last 10 years as smartphones have become more and more widely available. People tend to respond to their emails and SMS on their smartphone, and having links delivered through the smartphone allows the measures to be filled in then on that device that they arrive on. Now, at the practitioner level, it's good, of course, to look on larger screens, particularly when it comes to discussing the outcomes from the measures that have been recorded. And so it's good to use tablets or laptops for that purpose. And of course, it's much easier to share the view of the progress chart, which is at the heart of Pragmatic Tracker, to discuss progress with the clients on the various measures that you might be using with them. Something more specifically about goal-based outcomes. Well, measures are in effect blunt instruments. They purport to measure about all sorts of different factors, obviously well-being, distress, anxiety, depression, OCD, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, they don't necessarily tell us about what this particular person wants to see change taking place on, so that they know the work you're doing together with them is actually helping them. And then by using a goal-based outcomes approach, you can produce meaningful measurement based around the things that are important to the client. And so this is how this gets generated within Pragmatic Tracker, creating a new goal, offering it a label, giving some detailed description based on the client's actual own words. And in effect, you're building a measure bespoke to that particular individual client. And that is then delivered to them item by item to describe their responses, from whether the goal is not at all met all the way through to reached or halfway or whatever it may be. Now this ends up being turned into a report that first of all presents on the progress chart within Pragmatic Tracker. And here you can see the line of the aggregated goal scores, 3 goals being recorded here. But you can also look at each goal individually to see how the individual trajectories of those goals change. The other thing you'll notice at the table underneath this as well is that you can see the score today of a particular point, but you can also see the score item by item at the first time you took a measurement and the time before this time. So you can see the change that's taken place since the beginning, and you can also see the change that's taken place since the last visit, item by item. And this is very important for that discussion with the client about their progress they're making. Another important thing with goals is that you can switch off a goal if there's reason to do so. So a reason might be, for example, a client has identified they really want to see change taking place on this particular thing, but they're just not ready to work on it yet. There's other things that are a higher priority to them at the moment. So you can deactivate the goal and bring it back on later on. You could also deactivate the goal if it's actually been met already. So many sessions into treatment, one of these goals may have been achieved, so you don't want to keep pestering the client asking them about it all the time. Now, whether it's the goals measure or the ORS as displayed here, or any other measure, you'll see the aggregate score on the actual chart, and then the individual items underneath, and that change by change from first time to this time and previous time to this time on each of those individual items, which is really important for the discussion with the client. And here you can see those relating to each other then, 3 different measures here, the goals measure, core 10 and ORS, showing on one chart. So you can look at the different stories each of those instruments is actually telling you and explore that together with your client on the chart. And another feature I'd like to bring your attention to is the scatter chart. Now, we've always had the ability on the dashboard, the client open list page, if you like, to toggle the percentage change on whichever the target measures are. And you can quickly identify which cases perhaps are failing cases or failing to make actual progress, and then drill into those cases to look in more detail at what's going on. However, we've got a new way of doing this now, which is called the scatter chart. And so by clicking on the scatter chart, you get a representation of all of your clients and all of the measures you've used with those clients represented just on one picture here. And this is telling you quickly the clients that are making progress, that are to the right side of that dotted line, as opposed to the clients on the other side of the dotted line being the line that represents no change. And this allows you to quickly zoom in on those cases that you may want to pay particular attention to. And of course, as time goes by, your caseload builds and you can get that pictorial representation depending on which measures you want to use with your clients, and you can get an aggregated effect size score as well. Now, this can become very important, of course, when you're looking across a whole organization and to see the output from that organization and the relative effect size according to the measures that you're actually filtering on. So these are some of the features of Pragmatic Tracker. There's a whole load else to discover. I suggest you go and have a look at pragmatictracker.com, where, of course, most importantly, you can find out how much it costs. All of the information is there for you on the pages there. And by all means, come and have a good look around. If you'd like some more information, please contact me, Bill Andrews, info@pragmatictracker.com. Thank you very much.